All right, so I caught a little bit of heat from someone because I said a couple of things that I say. Number one, don't invest in single family houses. That's not investing. Number two, stop buying like Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and all these exotic cars and stuff like that with your money trying to look rich. You are not rich. That's not, well, that's rich, but that's not wealthy, right? You need to focus on creating wealth, multiplying money. So I'm gonna go over that today. And I'd love to hear you guys on this because this is I'll just tell you guys what I'm doing. I'm not I'm totally transparent in that. Um so first, number one thing, when you think through why I say those things, I'm talking about decisions. You have to make the decision that you're going to be wealthy and stop playing the rich game. The look rich game is almost worse than the actual rich game itself. But what does the decision look like? You guys have seen me do this before. This is the top. This is the middle. The middle has two brackets. And then this is kind of the lower part. This bracket right here, all right, you have your upper middle class. Then you have your middle. And then you have the lower. This is the lower income bracket. This right here, somewhere in around 50,000 to, let's just say, 200. This is 200 plus maybe hitting like $1 million in income. This is my thought. These are my numbers, right? Now, the other one says less than that. This tends to go about 400K right here. And then this is 400K plus, right? But this is income. Now, when I think through this, I'm thinking that this right here is just, that's income. So if you really stop and think about it, it's not that hard to make $400,000 a year, right? You can have your profession. Let's say your profession makes you about 300,000 a year. You have a combined household income of 300,000, and you got a side hustle. Or worse, typically for me, I talk to what I like to consider the millionaire middle. This is the millionaire middle. These people have they have about 200,000 a year, or they have $1 million in assets. But just because you have $1 million in assets and you make 200,000 a year, you're still in the middle class. The decision here is here. The problem is that the middle class focuses on buying liabilities, right? You go get a Lambo, right? You can finance it 250, or you can hack into it. Let's say whatever, it doesn't matter. Let's say you're at 150. Doesn't matter how you do it. You can go get financing for it, put 20% down, hack into it, be into it for a while. You got a single family house, right? Single family house right now, on the average, if you have a nice place, it's going to cost you anywhere, I would say about 800,000 to 1.2 million, right? You're going to have to put down 20% at some point. If this is going to be your place, you're going to have to save for that. That's another one. So you're already down either 160,000, or let's just say you're at $1 million, depending on where you are in the world, the United States. You're gonna have to put down anywhere from that's 160 to 200K. Same amount as up here. You're gonna have to put down 20% to get financing for that. Then, I mean, you got typically in the middle class, you got college debt. Boom. You have just your basic living expenses. Most the numbers are 75% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck in this income bracket. So really, the middle class, the millionaire, is the new, unfortunately, lower class. If you're living 75% are living paycheck to paycheck. That's the people who are making $200,000 a year. That's crazy. So why would you go pay and buy a single family house? Because your mom and dad, when they were younger, owning a home mattered. Now you can rent by choice. You get more amenities living in an apartment building or renting a house, a built-to-rent home, than you would actually buying your own home. It just doesn't make sense just to say you did that. And then they go get a Lambo, or let's say it's not a Lambo. Let's say it's just an executive car. Executive cars now still cost about 100K. People are still paying $100,000, $200,000 for a Beamer. Like, it just kind of is what it is now. Like, when you know that. Now, if you start taking a look at where people are, you make 200,000 a year, you buy an executive car, let's say you put down 20%, you get financing for it, you still got to put down money. You put down 160,000 or $200,000 to buy your own home. You're still paying off your college debt, right? And you still have your living expenses. And let's throw some kids in the mix. Let's say you got 2 kids. I have 6, but 3 still young. But let's say you got two kids, you got two crumb snatchers, and you got one more on the way, plus one, and you got a dog that also takes up some money. Like, look, you see where I'm going with all this stuff? All of this costs money. All of this is money. This is where the middle class millionaire is going to die. The middle class millionaires are right here. So this is why people get upset. But my thought process is this. These are all liabilities. The expensive car liability, Lambo liability, Ferrari liability, Porsche liability, single family house. It's a liability because you live in it. Different if you bought it and it was a rental, it would be an asset. But if you bought a single family house and rented it out, you have one tenant. They go away. You become the tenant and the landlord because now you got to pay, right? You got to keep it up. You're paying for college. You're paying for your living expenses. You're paying for your own kids. And let's not forget. Let's say you have a business. You have a business. Let's say you have a good business. Still in the middle class. Let's say your business grosses, let's say you make $1 million to $5 million bucks. Let's say 3. We'll cut that back. Let's say you make $1 million to $3 million, right? Maybe 40% of that is gross. Is a gross number. 40% of it. So you're probably making anywhere from 600,000 to I don't know, 1.2 million a year. That's right, like as it relates to expenses are concerned. So once you kind of cut away all your expenses and you're looking at next year, you got marketing, you got sales, you got administration, right? You got employees, if you even have an employee. And if you don't have an employee, you're the employee, and you're probably taking all this money, which now you're having to figure out taxes, which is another 40%. At some point, it's going to eat you away if you don't have any investments. This is what I always said. It doesn't pay to be a middle-class millionaire. So if you're trying to live like the middle-class millionaires, private clubs, memberships in a bunch of different places, you have no real investments and your investments are tied up. Let's say you can only be, you're in an IRA, you're in a 401k, or you're playing on the side. You're trading. You're doing trades with, let's say you're day trading, or you have a friend or a buddy or somebody you went to college or school with, some other business partner, and you're like, hey man, I got some money. Let's go and flip this house. Let's go and bang out the cabinets and countertops and paint it. And let's go do that. Or let's go be a coach. Let's go do mentoring. Let's start a marketing company, or let's do a construction company, or landscaping company, or sell t-shirts online or online, whatever it is you do. You have so much risk involved in playing with your money rather than just invest your money, invest your way into this class, which is what I was alluding to. Now, how do you get into that wealthy category? You take your money from your business. Let's say you have your business. You have your business or your job, whatever you work. Right? You take this. You focus on making money. You focus on making more money. You don't spend any money on liabilities. No liabilities. No single family house. No fancy car. Right? I'm not saying you live like a poor person. I'm just saying you have nice stuff, but just rent. Rent and lease. Right? Don't take risks. Don't risk. Right? Save your money in a place where you can't lose it. Go put it in that's a lock. That's a lock and key. Lock your money down. Lock your money up where you can't touch it at all until you have at least $100,000 to $200,000 saved up, and then take that money and invest it. You want to be able to invest at least $100,000 to $200,000 and not need to go back to get it into something that's actually cash flowing for you. Like for us, it's multifamily real estate. That's why I did Bell Capital. I know there's people out there that are in the middle class millionaires that make $200,000 a year. They got $1 million net worth, or they have $1 million net worth. They don't have to make 200, as long as they have one of those. They have money sitting in an IRA or 401k, going up and down the whole time, tied to the stock market and mutual funds, God knows whatever it's in, and they're afraid to touch it. But it's not gaining anything. It goes up and down. Or it's sitting in a cash account. It's sitting in a cash account, like a money market. at Fidelity, Schwab, whatever, and it's earning them some money, but they're also afraid to touch it. It's going up, it's going down, it's in God knows what. So it's just sitting there. It's not multiplying. You want to multiply money. That's how you get into the top 1%. This is how wealth is created. That's how you create wealth. It's not from buying land. You don't need to look rich. You need to create wealth. That's the game. I'm supposed to say wealth. When you get this part down, then everything I say makes sense. I have to fight for this for you guys because a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm going to invest in a business. I'm going to buy a business. I'm going to go acquire businesses. I'm going to go and reinvest money into my own business. I got this money sitting and I'm just letting this sit in my account. I'm not going to do nothing with it. Like you have to, one, you got to save money in a place where you can't get it. Number two, you have to be able to invest money, right? So where would you invest your money? For me, I like multifamily real estate. So we're talking about you invest your money in real estate, multifamily preferably. This is what I'm talking about. The type of deals we look at. All right. We're looking at everything from 200 units, right? The location's great. A locations. The unit, I'm not necessarily worried about the apartment buildings being A-class properties, but I do want A-class locations. This is probably the most important thing for me, but there's scale here. Right. And there needs to be something about this property. There needs to be some form of excitement with the property because I'm looking at being in a deal for like 10 years. Even if I'm not in it for 10 years, I need to decide that I'm going to be in a deal for 10 years. I want my family's money in this deal. And last but not least, this thing has to cash flow day one, month one. Period. This is how the wealthy play the game. 100%. They're looking at great pieces of properties. Locations are sick. It has scale. Oh, and another thing that they do too, they invest with other people. They invest with partners. I've yet to ever meet any wealthy person that doesn't invest their money with partners with a lot of other investors. They invest money. They're not interested in, oh, I want to be the only investor. I want to own it all. No one does that. No one wealthy does it all by themselves. Even if they're the founder of the company, like when I study wealthy companies and wealthy founders, they have thousands and thousands of investors. They got hundreds of employees. They do everything at scale. They build wealth for themselves and the company and the people around them, right? Most people, because they're weird. I mean, me too. I'm preaching to myself here. Like I grew up middle class. Save your money, turn the lights off, eat all that food, don't waste stuff. Money doesn't grow on trees. A penny saved is a penny earned. Like you got to work hard for your money. Don't do this. Don't lose it. Don't invest it. Don't share it. Don't lend it. Don't give it away. All of those were not true. It was false data. It mattered to my parents. It mattered to my friends' parents. It mattered to the people that I learned from. But when I look at even the mentors that I had on my way up, they are not wealthy. They're rich. They inspired me to be more, and I did learn from them. But I only learned so much before I had to be like, hey, look, you know what? As I got older and I was like, man, who owns those properties? 400, 500 units, 1,000 units. Who bought a $1 billion portfolio? None of my mentors could teach me how to do that, much less even wanted to do it. They had already quit at the level that they were and said, you know what? I'm bowing out. Everything's too hard. This is all I want. So that said, all you people out there who harp on me for saying, hey, a single family house is not an investment. Buying a Lambo is stupid unless you have cash flow that you can buy them. All those watches and all those crazy things that everybody likes to invest in. I can't even make sense of buying a $400,000 or $500,000 watch. I don't give a shit how much money I make from my cash flow. I'm not cheap, but I don't waste money. I'm very disciplined with money. My money, other people's money. I'm extremely, extremely disciplined with money. I don't waste it. I don't lose it. I handle it with care. Money is important. It's very important to myself, my company, my investors. So like even like some of those things I just don't even consider, right? So I get it though. For those who are willing to make a wealth decision, that's really what this is about. You have to decide to be these people. And when you start deciding to be the 1% wealthy people, you start realizing one, they invest money, they don't waste money. They don't believe single family houses are an investment. They don't waste their money on Lamborghinis and stuff. When they do, it's coming from their fallout cash flow from investments and opportunities. It's just they're extra. They're toys. A toy is a toy, something you play with. The money that they're getting their toys with is play with money. It's not, oh, I blew this. That's not how it works, right? That's middle class thinking. You got to get out of middle class thinking. You got to see what the 1% do and do what the 1% do, which is invest money, right? Which is what I was talking about. I'm going to flip back through the pages. You get it. So, like I said, I'm here for you, but I wanted to address that. Don't buy Lamborghinis. Stupid. Don't buy these exotic sports cars. Stupid. Stop spending $300,000, $400,000, or $250,000 or $100,000 on a watch just to go show your friends. You know what's more impressive to me? When somebody goes, yeah, you know what? We invested $300,000 in a deal with Bell Capital. We are committing $500,000 to invest in the multifamily deals that you're doing. People like that are impressive to me, right? That's impressive. I do that. The people who are doing that, because what's impressive to me is people who are committed to be wealthy and they know what they want their money to do, and they are committed to have their money and their investments take care of them and their families for generations. That's wealth. So that's the game you need to play. And when you play that game, you're guaranteed to win. You're guaranteed to lose this other game. People have been losing that game forever, right? 80% of the population, soon to be 90% of the population, the middle class will become the new lower income bracket because of how much taxes they pay. It's going to continue on. Don't be in that group. I want to invite you guys to play the wealth game with me, make a wealth commitment, decide to be the 1%. I set up my company. I set up a vehicle to be able to help people invest their way into becoming wealthy with us. I'm finding the deals. I'm doing the debt. I'm doing the negotiations. I have the team. I have the professionals around me. I have the relationships. You don't have to do anything but to invest to become these people. One, you have to see what they're doing, decide, see what they're doing, and then invest your way into this group. You cannot work your way into the wealthy. It's impossible. All right. So I hope that helps. And you damn sure can't just work your way into looking like them, because they all know. They do know the difference. I'm around a lot of them. And when they talk to me, they're like, dude, you got it down pat. You got this thing down. So that's important for you guys to get, that I'm not telling you bad information. I'm eating my own dog food. Okay. All right. So I hope that helps. Like this video, share this video, comment on it if you want. I will respond to you. I read all the comments. But we're here for you. Oh, subscribe to our channel. This is about making a wealth decision, learning to multiply your money by investing your way into the wealthy. Instead of just staying a middle-class millionaire, you and your family deserve more than that. But subscribe to our channel. We want to get more people involved. I will address things as they come. Sometimes I say stuff, people don't like the way I say it, and that's okay. I say it so people don't like it, because I want to help you. I want to help you and your family get better. I believe in you. I'm pulling for you to win. I'm looking to win. I'm taking care of my family. I want to help you take care of yours with what I'm doing. All right. So you guys go ahead. You have a great day today. Looking forward to connecting with you. Let's go.